Ladies and gentlemen, this is Khalil, your host of the Khalil Hannibal Sportswear, both YouTube channel and Facebook page. And I got a lot to talk about right now. Josh going to be suspended. A white ref, forces a black wrestler to cut his hair or for the match. I'll also be talking about two LSU football players that were questioned for self-defense due to the fact that they were robbed, that is. And I'm talking about more into that, and I'll talk about the NFL games, what happened though. So I will get into that for sure. Now, my first things I want to I want to talk about different. I want to talk about a black wrestler that was in a black wrestler named Andrew Johnson. He was a high school wrestler, that is, in Buena High School, the high school wrestling team, that is. He was forced to cut his hair by a white ref. Cut off his dreads, that is. Otherwise, he had to forfeit the match. If he didn't cut his hair off, he had to forfeit the match. Andrew Johnson, that is, who's the wrestler, he covered his hair. He covered over his dreads. When the white ref, Alan Maloney, steps in, Maloney tells Johnson the cover of his hair, but he also gives him an ultimatum. You get rid of the dreads by cutting them, or otherwise you have to forfeit the match. So Andrew Johnson chose to cut his hair off, and after he won the match, that is, he feels a bit distraught though. His teammates were trying to comfort him, but he wasn't having it though. So Andrew Johnson beat his opponent, but he's upset though about the haircut, that is. The ref, Alan Maloney, has a history of racial behavior because back in 2016, because of a slur that he used back in 2016, that is, towards a black dude during a get together, and as well, Alan Maloney got his butt whooped. Black man was upset. He beat Maloney to the ground, despite the slur. Now, Alan Maloney apologized for the incident, and the body at the Buena Regional High School Wrestling insisted him to take a sensitivity training class. Alan Maloney is being investigated and won't do any matches. So basically, as you all know, that Alan Maloney, who's the white ref, he will not be working any matches. He will be banned from all matches, that is, in high school, and the Buena High School matches in New Jersey, that is. My opinion, he should be banned. Alan Maloney, the white ref, he should be banned. That's what I think. Alan Maloney will be disciplined for making racist comment. 2016, Maloney was suspended or disciplined during the haircut incident. Officials need to keep him off the mat, though, to get information. Source says Maloney was enforcing a rule about hair maintenance, and race isn't it. The New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association, or the NJSIAA, that is, they recommend to chapter officials that the ref in question won't be at any wrestling event until the matter is resolved, to avoid distractions for high school wrestlers. Basically, in my opinion, look, listen. Don't let this white ref try to bring Andrew Johnson. Don't let this white ref try to bring you down like that. Come on, you gotta stand up for yourself. And basically, this white ref that had this wrestler cut his hair off. I mean, this is a high school wrestler, that is, in Buena High School in New Jersey. And Andrew Johnson. I'm ashamed of that incident. I really am. And apparently, now since the ref that is, he's been banned from all activities, wrestling activities. He should be released as the ref at Buena High School wrestling matches, and he should be. I know it's been banned, but he should be released, and he never comes back. So basically, I know a lot of people are unsatisfied with this. I know many people feel about this right now, but really, I think it's safe to say this white ref who told Alan Maloney, the white ref who told Andrew Johnson to cut his hair off, that ref should be released. I'm sorry. There's been, I mean, race. Look, guys, we know racism it's everywhere, and we know it's a big thing. But this is going below the belt. I mean, there have been hair versus hair matches in pro wrestling level, but never like this. The high school incident, hair incident. This is not a hair versus hair match. This is absolutely this is beyond blatant disrespect. You don't tell a person, a wrestler that is, to cut his hair off for any occasion or for a match or for any wrestling or for any high school wrestling match. You don't do that. You don't. Because the difference is in pro wrestling, there have been hair versus hair matches. High school level, there's not. Nor the college level, nor the Olympic, in the Olympic wrestling. No, no, no. This ref who had this wrestler cut his hair off, cut his dreads off, should be released, should be charged, should be given a lawsuit, and above all else, should be banned for life. That's it. So there you have it, guys. That's how I feel about the situation. And I think that was a really bad approach. And obviously, in my opinion, this ref should be disciplined, suspended, and banned from all high school wrestling activities in the Buena High School. That is. This was the right ref. Andrew Johnson's a black man, that a black wrestler, that is. So basically, this is a bit of a violation, that is for sure. So basically, what I simply said was the fact that there's something about hair maintenance, and the ultimatum was that the ref had Alan Maloney says if you don't cut your hair off for this occasion, for this wrestling match, you will forfeit the match. That's what he said. That's just gonna blow the belt. I'm sorry, but it is beyond ridiculous. And I think it's safe to say this ref should have known better. We don't see this in pro wrestling matches. We don't see this in Olympic matches, wrestling matches. We don't see that. Maybe in hair versus hair matches. Well, there have been hair versus hair matches in pro wrestling, that is. You know, WWE, Impact, ROH, and those other matches, and the indie wrestling matches. But in the high school or the college level wrestling or Olympic wrestling, there is not. This is a white ref who simply, you know, had the ultimatum of having a black wrestler, Andrew Johnson, cut off his dreads. And this is the most disrespectful thing in history. It really was. And I'm ashamed of that. And I'm really ashamed of this. And it's beyond pathetic. It is beyond ridiculous. And basically, this may be a bit of a race thing, I'll tell you that. But obviously, I'm very unsatisfied with this. And hopefully that ref gets released. Alan Maloney gets released. Now, we know back in 2016, he was a racial toward a black man, towards some get together, that is. And as a result, he got beat up. Alan Maloney got himself beat up. for sure. I think that Alan Malone should be released. In my opinion, he should be released for good as the ref of the Buena High School Wrestling, though. Stop fishing matches, and I think it's safe to say that this ref Alan Maloney should be given a lawsuit, should be fined, and should be suspended nor banned for life. That's how you want to see. You paint this any other picture, because I'm telling you right now that this incident. I mean, this is gonna blow the bells with this release. I'm sorry, but a lot of people right now are just asking themselves, you know, why would I do something like this? Why exactly? We don't see this happen. Like we don't see this happen in pro wrestling. We don't see this happen in Olympic wrestling nor high school wrestling. It never happened in Tuscaloosa or high school. No, 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 it did not. This is in Buena High School in New Jersey, and I'm ashamed this happened. I really am. This is why Ref Alan Malone should be banned for life. He's been banned for good, but he should be released as the ref of the Buena High School wrestling team, as the officiating ref of the high school wrestling team that is, who forced this wrestler to cut his hair off. It's ridiculous. It really is, and I don't and this is something I really don't appreciate at all. It's really ridiculous. I'll tell you that. So, hopefully, this is a bit of a hope all the officials out there are aware of this, and hope these other officials in the pro wrestling industry, the high school wrestling or Olympic wrestling, don't make the same mistake that this ref did, Al Maloney did to Andrew Johnson. I hope that doesn't happen though, because I'm real disappointed this happened. I really am. So there you have it right there. Now I want to move on to another topic. I do want to point out. Yes, I'm checking out the game. I'm checking out the game in the Chiefs versus Seahawks game. I'm checking that out. But Seahawks right now. I know it's a close game, but I know it's a close game. I know Seahawks are beat. I know Seahawks. They got the Chiefs by 4 points. Oh my goodness, that's no good. Seahawks recovered that game. It's halftime right now. So there you have right there. It's gonna be halftime for sure. You got 10 seconds left. Just another topic I do want to point out is the fact that I want to move on to another topic though, that there are two high school football players, names of Clyde Edwards Hilaire and Jared Small. These are LSU football players. They attempted to sell an electronic item on the Scotland area of Baton Rouge. They were acting in self-defense when a robber, or a man that is, by the name of Kobe Johnson, pulls out a weapon, and attempts to rob them of their belongings. One player pulls a handgun, shoots Johnson numerous times. Johnson was dead. Clyde Edwards, Hilaire, and Jared Small were questioned by police for hours, being for hours before being released without arrest or charges. Shooting is under investigation, and there were no charges made though. So I'm just saying that Clyde Edwards Hilaire and Jared Small, they were acting in self-defense, and there were no arrests made, no charges were made. This happened in Baton Rouge in Scotlandville area of Baton Rouge. So Clyde Edwards Hilaire and Jared Small, they were acting in self-defense, and they were not they were not arrested nor released. So really, they did the right thing. They were innocent bystanders attempting to stop a robbery, that is. They were victims of a heinous robbery, that is, that happened to them as of yesterday, which I know for sure. So they did the right thing. They were being questioned by police, and there were no arrests again. There were no arrests. No charges filed though, so I'm not sure where they go from there. So who knows? They probably won't be released. Who knows? So not just the case right there, but just how it's gonna be. So there you have it right there, everybody. There you have it, guys. Moving on to another topic though. This past week, as you all know, that Josh Gordon, he's been temporarily suspended for violating the terms of his was it? Oh man. Aaliyah? Good evening, Aaliyah. Aaliyah? Yes. For violating the terms of his reinstatement, that is. Excuse me? Oh, sorry. She was there? I'm sorry. Aaliyah's here.
Hey, bub.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's this?
She's right. Oh, sorry, just this, live stream.
You on
That's all.
TV? A live stream? Maybe she
I
don't
want
want to
to
be
be
on
in
live
it.
stream.
Sorry. Oh man. She's on the live stream. Sorry. Sorry about that. I thought she was alone, but no. It does seem obvious that, well, they did the right thing, but there were no charges being made against them, so they have right there. Now, Josh Gordon, that he's been temporarily suspended. As I told you, Josh Gordon's been temporarily suspended for violating the terms of his reinstatement, that is, under the substance abuse policy. So basically, he can still apply for reinstatement, but I think it's obvious that Josh Gordon's career is officially over for now. I'll tell you that. And the fact that temporarily he didn't live expectations, and he's been suspended for the last 4 seasons. That is. So, for numerous drug violations. Hopefully he learns from this experience and not tries to do this again. So he won't be playing for next week. Remember, he opened up about his mental health issues, that is, so he let the NFL to focus on his mental health, and that he's not, and he just didn't live to the criteria, nor lived to, and Josh Gordon's been suspended. We all know that, so he may have another career for the NFL nor the Patriots, that is. So if you look at that timeline, he's been suspended for violating the substance abuse policy, violated he also violated the team rules, and violated, once again, the substance abuse policy once again. And obviously, he didn't look expectations, so I think it's obvious you'd have to release him for good, and then that happens, he can still apply for a reinstatement. That is, he's just going to put himself in a very bad situation, and his career could have been winding down just like that in an instance. So that's how I react to that. That's how I feel about that for sure. I could tell you that for sure. So make us think about it would have been pretty good. That's just not looking good for him. So there you have it right there, everybody. We'll move on to the NFL games. That is, Giants. They could have beaten those Colts. Giants dominated. Are you serious? I know they're not in the playoffs. For sure, I'll tell you that. Unfortunately, They could have beaten the Colts, but they lost by 1 point. Man, 1 point. Are you kidding me? 1 point. Could be Giants could have been like 6-9. But they're not in the playoffs though. So there you have it right there. Next week they gotta take on the Cowboys. You gotta take on the Cowboys next week. And yeah, that didn't go so well. I mean, Giants they did dominate that entire game though, but till they lost, till Eli Manning threw up for the interception, which is a really big mistake. There, it's something you don't want to do. So I'm just hoping that doesn't happen again by his last game. There you have right there. Now you saw the Rays beat the Chargers. We seen the Eagles they beat, and they're gonna beat the Skins next week. You'll see. We've even seen all the Saints that they beat the Steelers. I gotta tell you that. The Steelers they jumped down to another spot. So, Saints just shooting good. They just dominated the Steelers by the way. Patriots they beat the Bills. We've even seen the Vikings, they took out the Lions. Browns taking out the Bengals. We've seen the Packers defeat the Jets. The Jets defeat the Packers. Also seen that. Rams defeating the Cardinals. Now you got the Chiefs taking on the Seahawks, which is streaming live right now. That is so. I'll get you live results by tomorrow, and I'll keep you on tune up to date. So the Panthers are. I mean, as you all know, the Panthers they shut down. Candace was shut down for the last 2 games, so that is next week. That is you won't see next week. So hopefully the Panthers will. Well, they're not going to the playoffs. I can tell you that, but their playoff spots I'm taking. So there you have it right there. Cowboys they took out the Buccaneers, which is a big mistake, which is a big no-no right there. So I'm just hoping that Cowboys lose next. That's all you need to know. Now, I want to know the topic of that is Missy Franklin. She decides to retire from Olympic swimming. She's a 5-time Olympic gold medalist and a 2-time FINA World Swimmer of the Year. So, she's not Olympic. She is the GOAT. That is, we all know that. So, they have right there. And, I'm just looking for a different result. So, that's all you need to know right there. And that's like I know right there, folks. So Seahawks and Chiefs game, that's live right now. So hopefully the Chiefs win that game. They beat the Seahawks and they try to get this one. So there you have it right there. Streaming live right now, that is. Well, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for the Khalil the Sports Support, both YouTube channel and Facebook page. Please be sure you send me comments, your tweets, your reactions, your thoughts about the ref that forced a black wrestler to Alan Maloney, the white ref who forced to cut Andrew Johnson's hair off, cut his dreads off, that is. Let me know in the comments section some of your tweets, your thoughts, your extra comments about that. I'm more than happy to respond and answer that. Tell me what you think of the 2 LSU football players who acted in self-defense who were being questioned due to the fact they were victims of heinous robbery, that is. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Tell me some of your results, your tweets, your comments, your replies about the Giants nearly beating the you're welcome. Nearly losing to the Colts, nearly beating the Colts, but they lost that game by like 1 point. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the Saints beating the Steelers, Panthers defeating the Falcons. Let me know what you think of the Bengals. I know. The Giants, they would have won that game, but I'm just ashamed they did not get that win. They lost by like 1 point. Man, oh man, they would have beaten them by now. Could have been. I'm so upset, unsatisfied. I told the G-men they do better by beating the Cowboys next week. Looking forward to that one right there. So really, I'm ashamed that game didn't go. That game did go well to the Eli May threw off their first interception, which I was not pleased with. So basically, you know, hope the Giants they win. They'll win next week. Their last game. I know they're not in the playoffs, but it's just, this is not good. You know, I showed the G-men they beat those Cowboys next week and be able to just finish off their season. There's always room for next season, though. I know for sure that the Giants they're gonna beat those Cowboys, which they will. And Odell Beckham is not coming back. So that quad injury he's been dealing with for sure. Let me know in the comments what you think, and be sure to send me your comments, your tweets, your replies. And I will see you all on the Christmas edition, and I'll see you all on the New Year's edition, and the holiday edition of the Khalil Allen Sports Award, both YouTube channel and Facebook page. And I got some more hot topics on the way. We'll have updates, breaking news, trending topics, developing storylines that I will address by tomorrow. That is, and I'm just looking forward to do so. So take care, you guys. You guys have a good evening. Bye bye.